hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. It also known as idiopathic hypertrophic subaortic stenosis or asymmetric septal hypertrophy or muscular subaortic stenosis. What is cardiomyopathy? It is a myocardial disorder in which the heart muscle is structurally and functionally abnormal. Types of cardiomyopathies are dilated cardiomyopathy, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and restrictive cardiomyopathy and chemically induced cardiomyopathy. Among these, hypertrophic cardiomyopathies are most common. It is the most common cause of sudden death in young adults. It is an autosomal dominant trait due to mutation in the sarcomeric protein like beta myosin heavy chain and myosin binding protein C. Coming to the pathophysiology, asymmetric and disorganized hypertrophy of the interventricular septum and left ventricular hypertrophy, dynamic left ventricle outflow tract obstruction leads to mitral valve regurgitation and systolic anterior movement of mitral valve. During systole, contraction of the hypertrophied septum accelerates the blood flow through the narrowed left ventricle outflow tract, creating a Venturi effect on the anterior leaflet of the mitral valve. So it creates the systolic anterior movement of the mitral valve. It is the characteristic feature of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Diastolic dysfunction can occur due to prolonged relaxation time and decreased compliance. Myocardial ischemia is due to abnormal coronary arteries and coronary perfusion. It also increased oxygen consumption due to hypertrophied ventricles. The agents that increase left ventricle preload, that decrease left LVOT obstruction. The agents are intravenous fluid administration, squatting, hand grip, and beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, alpha agonist, and vasoconstriction. Agents that decrease left ventricle preload, that increase LVOT obstruction. That is Valsalva maneuver, volume depletion, beta agonist, and vasodilation. Clinical feature, the earliest symptom is dyspnea. Due to high left ventricular pressure causes left atrium enlargement. It leads to pulmonary congestion, orthopnea, paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, cough, and pulmonary edema. Due to narrowed LVOT obstruction, decreased blood supply to the heart, it leads to increased cardiac overload and decreased cardiac output. It creates angina. 70% of the patient presents with angina, 90% of the patient presents with dyspnea. And decreased perfusion to the brain. Patients will present as pre-syncope or syncope or dizziness. Palpitations and arrhythmias can occur due to interventricular septal hypertrophy. The arrhythmia is the most common cause of sudden death within 1 hour. Right atrium enlargement, due to left atrium enlargement, the heart pushes the right atrium. So right atrium enlargement increase GVP, hepatomegaly, and congestive cardiac failure. On examination, heaving or apical impulse felt in the left third or fourth intercostal space. Pulse is bisferent, hot sound. S1 is soft, S2 is paradoxical splitting or reverse splitting. The murmur is systolic, hoarse ejection systolic murmur due to narrowed LVOT obstruction. Prognostic pathways and treatment strategies. If patient is present with asymptomatic, there is no treatment required. If patient is present with mild symptoms, medical therapy needed, like beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, diuretics, disopramide, and lifestyle changes like avoid strenuous exercise and avoid alcohol. If patients presents with severe symptoms and drug refractory treatment, we can go for surgical treatment like surgical myectomy and alcohol ablation technique. In view of ICD device placement, sustained ventricular tachycardia or any family history of sudden cardiac death and any syncope attack. Preoperative evaluation, routine blood test routine blood tests have to do, and ECG, chest X-ray, echo. In ECG, concentric LVH, pathological Q waves, ST depression, and T wave inversion. Chest X-ray may be normal but mild to moderate cardiomegaly. In echo, left ventricle wall thickness more than 15 mm and banana shaped left ventricular cavity. septal to posterior wall thickness ratio is more than 1.3. This is the characteristic feature in echo. And mitral valve elevation, like a mitral regurgitation and mitral valve area. Dynamic obstruction, where is the site and gradient of obstruction, and pulmonary artery pressure. Definite diagnosis is myocardial biopsy and DNA analysis. Coming to pre-medication, benzodiazepine should avoid benzodiazepine should give to avoid tachycardia. Atropine should give, atropine should avoid, and glycopyrrolate can use. Medication beta blockers and calcium channel blockers should continue on the day of surgery. Anticoagulant therapy discontinued before day of surgery, before 3 to 5 days of surgery, and bridging therapy can required. Before that, we have to discuss with cardiologist among this bridging therapy and anticoagulant therapy. Anesthesia goals, we have to maintain sinus rhythm, maintain systemic vascular resistance, adequate preload or afterload, have to decrease contractility, avoid sympathetic stimulation like pain, stress, tachycardia, avoid hypotension. If hypotension occurs, we have to treat with intravenous fluid and vasopressors like phenylephrine. If ICD is on, turn off and reprogram the device. Improve the diastolic filling and decrease the LVOT obstruction that factors. Monitoring, ASA1 monitoring have to attach, and invasive arterial BP monitoring and the CVP urinary output should monitor. And the adequate pre-oxygenation should do in the perioperatively. At induction, IV induction, ketamine should avoid. Thiopental or propofol should may be given in the graded or incremental doses. Deep lanes of intubation preferred due to avoid the sympathetic stimulation. Maintenance with balanced anesthesia with oxygen, air, or sevoflurane. High dose of inhalational agents should avoid to decrease systemic vascular resistance. CO can preferred. Opioids should be given in the incremental doses, intermittent boluses. Non-depolarizing muscle relaxant can given preferred with vecuronium. Avoid pancuronium or atracurium. Deep level of general anesthesia maintained to avoid tachy during surgical anesthesia. Ventilation, avoid hypoxia and hypercarbia. Can use small tidal volume, high respiratory rate, and avoid PEEP. In laparoscopic surgeries, hypotension is severe during insufflation. It also reduced preload. In pregnancy patient, we can go for regional, but epidural is more preferred than spinal. During epidural management, we should avoid ephedrine, dopamine, and dobutamine, and avoid vasodilators. We can use vasoconstrictors like phenylephrine. Post-operative management, ICD reprogrammed to original settings, and beta blockers and calcium channel blockers should continue on post-op. Anticoagulation regime prior to discharge. Analgesia part, we have to maintain multimodal analgesia, and opioid sparing effect, we have to switch it on NSAIDs may use, and if severe pain, patient-controlled analgesia can use, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Very good. So this sort of comorbidity and anesthesia questions, they can be worded two ways in the examination. One is they can just mention patient with hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy and anesthesia. This may be the wording in the question. Or they may give a case scenario, patient with a hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy coming for elective cesarean section, or patient with hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy coming for nephrolithotomy. So this sort of case scenario with a surgical plan also may be incorporated. In that case, you have to deal more with how you plan with the surgical management and the anesthetic management for the planned surgery. But if the comorbidity alone is mentioned, as I told in the first sentence, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and anesthesia, then you have to give all the details about the incidents, the clinical features, the treatment part, the pathophysiology of the hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And then lastly, as you rightly have done, you must mention about what are the ways you manage general anesthesia and what are the ways you manage regional anesthesia in this patient. Your approach here is the correct way to deal with the question which has been given here, because we are just saying hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy and anesthesia. We are not mentioning any surgical procedures here. So you don't have to say how you will manage the surgery in a particular patient like this. And but one thing you have not mentioned in your answer, or whether I have not heard, is what is one of the important, very distressing characteristic of the cardiomyopathies. I don't know whether you mentioned or
Arrhythmias, sir.
not. Sudden death. Sudden death is the most distressing
Already,
because it
I
happens.
told,
Huh?
sir. I told, sir.
You told, probably I
Yes.
didn't listen. So that is the most, because many of them, majority of these patients are asymptomatic. And nowadays you are seeing in the papers and hearing in the, or watching in the TV, you find somebody going and doing vigorous exercise in the gym and then suddenly falling down dead, including very celebrities and very prominent persons in the society. This is happening. Most of them may be having a problem of obstructive cardiomyopathy which was not diagnosed earlier. So the sudden death is one of the important distressing features of this, which has to be remembered and highlighted in your answer. And why the sudden death is happening? Because most of the patients, as I said, may be asymptomatic. They will be looking very fit and healthy, so they never go for any investigations to see whether they have a dilated cardiomyopathy or not, or a hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or not. And because they are asymptomatic, we think they are all healthy, and they suddenly die because of the acute left ventricular outflow tract obstruction, which happens because of the hypertrophy of the septum, which is pulling the mitral anterior mitral leaflet to cause a sudden occlusion, which results in a sudden myocardial compromise because of the increase in the muscle mass. Even though the coronaries are all normal, sudden decrease in the left ventricular outflow tract obstruction causes a acute reduction in the coronary blood flow, and that is the mechanism how they all die. So that is the reason why this happens. And I think you have covered all the points nicely.